Imagine for a moment that within you there exists a secret, a hidden power that not only can elevate your self-esteem to levels you never thought possible, but also completely transform the way you attract people, experiences, and opportunities into your life. This is not a superficial trick or an empty promise like those you find everywhere. It is a profound discovery from one of the brightest minds in psychology, Carl Jung. He dedicated his life to exploring the darkest and most mysterious corners of the human soul, and what he found changes everything we believe we know about ourselves. Today, I want to take you by the hand on this journey. A journey that will not only make you feel more secure and valuable, but will also help you attract only what you truly deserve. Authentic relationships, inner fulfillment, and a life that resonates with who you are at your core. Carl Jung believed that all of us carry an entire universe within us, an inner world full of possibilities, but also shadows we have learned to ignore. Have you ever felt that something inside you is holding you back? Maybe it's that little voice telling you you're not enough, that you don't deserve more than what you have, or that constant fear of rejection. Jung would say this is not a coincidence or a flaw in you. It is your unconscious speaking to you, sending signals through emotions, intuitions, and even the people who cross your path. This unconscious is not an enemy. It is a guide, a teacher that wants you to awaken and reclaim the worth you already carry within. Think about your life for a second. How many times have you been in a situation where everything seemed fine on the surface, but something inside you said it wasn't? Maybe it was a relationship that looked perfect to others, but left you feeling empty, or a job everyone applauded but made you feel trapped. Jung taught us that these sensations are not meaningless noise. They are messages from the unconscious trying to protect you and guide you toward something better. He called this the process of individuation, the path to becoming your true self, a self that does not bend to external expectations or settle for less than you deserve. But here's the first great secret Jung revealed to elevate your self-esteem and attract what you deserve. You must first look inward, not outward. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with ideas of what we should be: more successful, more attractive, wealthier. In our effort to fit in, we end up disconnected from our essence. Jung said that when you lose this connection with yourself, your self-esteem plummets because you're living a life that doesn't belong to you. It's as if you're wearing a costume that doesn't fit. And every day that passes, you feel more uncomfortable in your own skin. So how do we begin to change this? Jung gave us a powerful clue. The unconscious doesn't speak in clear words like you and I do now. It expresses itself through symbols, dreams, emotions, and sometimes even through that inexplicable gut feeling when something isn't right. Have you ever met someone and, though you couldn't explain it, something inside told you to walk away? That is your intuition, a tool Jung considered sacred. Listening to that voice isn't a luxury, it's a necessity if you want to build solid self-esteem and attract relationships and experiences that uplift you rather than drain you. Let's talk about self-esteem for a moment. For Jung, it wasn't just about feeling good about yourself superficially. It was about recognizing your intrinsic value, a value that doesn't depend on what others think of you or how many likes you get on a photo. He believed true self-esteem is born when you reconcile with all parts of yourself, even the ones you don't like. This is where one of his most fascinating and challenging concepts comes in: the shadow. According to Jung, the shadow is the part of ourselves we hide from the world, our flaws, fears, insecurities, and even desires we don't dare admit to ourselves. Maybe it's the anger you feel but repress because it's not okay to get mad, or the envy that eats at you when you see someone achieving what you want. Most of us spend our lives running from the shadow, pretending it doesn't exist. But Jung warned us of something crucial. The more you ignore your shadow, the more power it has over you. And that power manifests in ways you may have already experienced. Before we go further, I'll take this moment to let you know my book is now available. It's filled with advice and techniques to help you overcome emotional blocks and love yourself more. Find the link in the description and the pinned comment. Let's continue. Have you ever noticed that certain people seem to irritate you for no apparent reason? Or that you find yourself repeating the same patterns in relationships as if trapped in an endless cycle? Jung would say, this isn't bad luck. It's your shadow projecting itself onto the external world. Those who irritate you aren't the problem. They are mirrors reflecting something within you that you haven't yet faced. And here's the magic. When you begin to integrate your shadow, when you accept those dark parts of yourself, your self-esteem grows because you're no longer at war with yourself. You become whole, authentic, and therefore magnetic. Imagine walking through life with a backpack full of stones. Each stone is something you deny about yourself, a fear, a guilt, and I'm not enough. That backpack weighs you down, drains you, and makes you attract relationships and situations that reinforce that burden. Now imagine you decide to open that backpack and look inside. It's uncomfortable, of course, but by acknowledging those stones, by saying, yes, this too is me, you begin to let them go one by one. With each stone you release, you feel lighter, more secure, and more worthy of the good things life has to offer. Jung taught us that self-esteem isn't built by seeking external approval, but by confronting what lies within. And when you do this inner work, something incredible happens. The external world begins to respond. This isn't magic in the fairy tale sense. It's a principle Jung called synchronicity. The idea that when you align with your true self, the universe seems to conspire in your favor. The right people appear, opportunities open up, and suddenly you realize you're attracting only what you deserve, not what you used to settle for. But let's not fool ourselves. This process requires courage. Jung spoke of choosing the less traveled path, that dark, unknown trail that confronts your deepest fears. Most people prefer to stay in the safe zone, doing what they're supposed to do. But if you want to elevate your self-esteem and live a life worth living, you must dare to walk that path. Because in that uncomfortable place, in that darkness, is where you find the light that has always been within you. Think about the relationships in your life. How many times have you allowed someone to make you feel small? How many times have you let your boundaries be crossed because you didn't want to cause trouble? Jung would say that every time you do this, you're telling your unconscious, I am not worthy enough, and your unconscious listens. It responds by attracting more of the same, people who drain you, situations that wear you down. But here's the good news. You can change that message. When you start protecting your energy, saying no when necessary, and surrounding yourself only with those who respect and uplift you, you're telling your unconscious, I deserve more. And guess what? The universe begins to give it to you. Maybe right now, you're thinking of someone in your life who makes you feel exhausted, insecure, or trapped. Jung would invite you to reflect. What is this person showing you about yourself? What part of your shadow is asking to be seen? This isn't about blaming others, but using these experiences as a mirror to grow. Because when you grow, when you value yourself, you stop tolerating what doesn't serve you. And that's the first step to attracting what you do deserve: love, respect, abundance. Now that we've explored how Carl Jung's concepts of the unconscious and the shadow are key to understanding who we truly are, I want to take you a step further. Because it's not enough to look within and recognize these hidden parts. The real power lies in what you do with them. Jung didn't just want us to discover our shadows. He wanted us to integrate them. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, but not an ordinary one. This mirror shows you everything, your fears, doubts, wounds, but also your strength, light, and potential. What would you do if you could see all of this at once? Jung would say, this is the moment you begin to transform. Integrating the shadow isn't easy, I admit it. It's an act of courage that requires facing things you'd rather avoid. Maybe it's the insecurity that makes you doubt your abilities, or the anger you hold back because you don't want to seem like a bad person. But here's the twist Jung gifted us. Those parts you reject aren't flaws. They're pure energy waiting to be redirected. Imagine your anger, instead of being something that shames you, becomes the fuel that drives you to set boundaries and defend your worth. Or your fear, instead of paralyzing you, transforms into a signal guiding you toward what truly matters. When you start seeing your shadow as a teacher rather than an enemy, your self-esteem doesn't just grow, it becomes unshakable. Why is this so important? Because your self-esteem is the foundation of everything you attract into your life. Jung believed the external world is a reflection of your inner world, a concept he called projection. If deep down you feel undeserving of love, respect, or success, you'll keep attracting people and situations that confirm that belief. But when you change that internal narrative, when you decide you're worthy of the best, the universe begins to reorganize around you. It's as if you're giving your unconscious a new instruction. I only accept what uplifts me. And trust me, your unconscious listens. Let's talk about relationships, because that's where Jung's secret becomes most evident. Have you ever been with someone who made you feel less than you are? Maybe they didn't say it outright, but their actions left you with a sense of emptiness, as if you had to constantly strive to be enough. Jung would say that relationship isn't an accident. It's a projection of something unresolved within you. Perhaps it's a part of your shadow that believes you need others' approval to be worthy. But here's the liberating truth. You don't need anyone to complete you. You are already whole. When you integrate this idea, when you realize your worth doesn't depend on anyone else, you start attracting people who see you for who you truly are, not for who they want you to be. Think of this as a deep cleanse for your life. Imagine going through a closet full of old clothes. Some items are too small, others are worn out, and some you don't even like, but you keep them just in case. Now apply this to the relationships and situations in your life. How often have you clung to people who subtract from you just because you fear the void they'd leave if they were gone? Jung invites us to let go, not from a place of defeat, but from a place of power. Because when you release what doesn't resonate with you, you create space for what does. And that space doesn't stay empty for long. It fills with people and experiences that reflect your new self-esteem. This is where another fascinating concept of Jung's comes in: synchronicity. He described it as those meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. Have you ever let go of something toxic in your life and suddenly an unexpected opportunity appeared? Or maybe you met someone who arrived at the exact right moment, as if the universe was rewarding your bravery. Jung said this isn't luck. It's the result of aligning with your true self. When you elevate your self-esteem and dare to live authentically, the external world begins to synchronize with that energy. It's as if the universe is saying, finally, you're ready to receive what you deserve. But I won't lie, this path has its challenges. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when the fear of change makes you want to retreat. Jung knew this well. He said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. That pain might come in the form of difficult goodbyes, uncomfortable truths, or letting go of beliefs you've carried for years. But that pain isn't punishment. It's a process of purification. Like cleaning a wound, it hurts at first, but it's necessary for healing. And once healed, what remains is a stronger, more secure, more dignified version of you. I want you to imagine your life as a garden. Right now, there might be weeds, Growing, relationships that drain you, thoughts that limit you, habits that keep you stuck. But you have the power to pull out those weeds and plant something new. Every time you choose to value yourself, every time you say no to what harms you and yes to what nourishes you, you're planting seeds of self-esteem. Over time, that garden blossoms. You attract people who water you with love and respect, opportunities that make you shine, and an inner peace that doesn't depend on anything external. Jung also gave us a practical tool for this process: reflection. He believed self-knowledge doesn't happen by magic. It takes time, attention, and honesty. So I invite you to do this with me now. Think of a situation in your life that's weighing you down. Maybe it's a relationship, a job, or even a dream you've abandoned. Ask yourself, what is this showing me about myself? What part of my shadow is asking to be seen? And what would happen if I dared to let go of what no longer serves me? You don't need to answer out loud. Just let it resonate in your mind, because these questions are the start of something powerful. Sometimes the unconscious's signals don't arrive like thunder. They can be subtle, a spark of curiosity towards something new. Maybe lately you felt a desire to explore a different hobby, place, or idea. Jung would say that's no coincidence. It's your unconscious opening a door to your authenticity. But to walk through that door, you must trust yourself. You must believe you deserve more than a mediocre life, more than relationships that dim your light, more than dreams left in a drawer. And here's the climax of Jung's secret. When you live from authenticity, when you allow yourself to be who you truly are without masks or excuses, you become a magnet for what you deserve. Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming your fullest self. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. Because the people who deserve to be in your life don't want a fake version of you. They want your light, your truth, your essence. And the opportunities you deserve don't come when you hide. They come when you dare to shine. So what does this mean for you today? It means you have a choice. You can keep carrying that backpack full of stones, tolerating what diminishes you, settling for less than you're worth. Or you can decide enough is enough. You can start listening to your intuition, facing your shadow, and building a self-esteem that doesn't just sustain you, it elevates you. And when you do, you'll see how the universe responds. The right people appear, paths open up, and you'll realize you've always had the power to attract what you deserve. Before we finish, I want you to reflect on this. What are you willing to let go of to make space for what you truly want? What part of you have you been suppressing that deserves to be set free? Because Jung's secret isn't just a theory, it's an invitation to live differently. A life where your self-esteem is non-negotiable, where you accept only what honors you, and where each day reflects your truth. If this has touched something in you, I invite you to be part of this movement. Share this video with someone who needs this message, someone ready to elevate their self-esteem and attract what they deserve. Leave a comment below and tell me, what will you let go of today? What step will you take to align with your truth? Your words don't just inspire me, they inspire this entire community. Growing with you. Subscribe if you haven't yet, hit the bell, and let's continue this journey of transformation together. Because the world needs more authentic, courageous people like you. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video. The change starts with you.